Hi, I'm Amy Hollandrake, and I'm here at Encounter AZ with Pastor Brent. And he asked me to tell my testimony. I think it's been a couple of months ago, and that has just been bugging me because right when he asked me, I was on one of these ups, one of the ups with life and Holy Spirit dance that I'm always searching for. And then I started thinking about it. I said, I have to think about it. I have to write some things down. And it's been rolling around my head for too long. Then I just started feeling this disobedience to not having done this. So I just have to say that first. That he didn't just ask me yesterday, go, oh, okay, fine, you know? And when I'm writing down, I didn't really want to go back to past because I've been in past before my past, thinking about it, talking about it. And I honestly, I have to. I have to go back from way back to around the time of maybe kindergarten because my family started out in Catholic church and it was Catholic school all in the same big property. And for me, it was just nothing but fear going to school there. And the nuns, I'm not trying to say this for anybody, any denomination, and put you down for your denomination, but it's just that this is my experience and it's just mine alone. So take it for that. Just the fear, being in school. When is that ruler going to hit somebody's knuckles? When is somebody going to be... I said I wasn't going to cry, so give me a minute. Like, when is somebody going to get smacked on the back of the head? The chair that is sitting up in the front of the classroom, that's just there, no desk. We all know what it's for. So whoever's going to have to lay over it and get paddled in front of the whole class because they did something. My heart's beating really fast right now. And said I wasn't going to cry. Oh, well. So then the church being right there too, this really big church steeple, all these windows, glass windows that were really pretty, and it was just so fake. I would think of that, wow. And then going there on Sunday and seeing those same nuns and everything was, I didn't want to walk on the same sidewalk that led to the school. I just would always go a different way or go farther away. Well, where's Amy? She's wandering off again. No, I just didn't even want to go near the school part. And so it's kind of shared. So anyways, I just thought, I don't even want my parents to talk to them. My mom usually went, not always my dad. So out of fear, I peed my pants. I peed my pants, and then I heard the nuns talking to my mom in the classroom. Something's, and in the office, something must be wrong with her because she does this. How, she's so disgusting, and she'll just sit there and not say anything. So I associated all that at a very young age, things like that, and the shame I felt, and the things like that with church. And then my mom went away from that, finally went away from that to just regular school, just regular school. And then she got into the Mormon church, and I guess they say I couldn't wait to be baptized. So when I was 8, I couldn't wait for Grandma to come out. I just got baptized, and I don't really remember the church at all. I honestly don't have a recollection of it. But what I do remember is I had this series of Bibles. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. And I had this 10 series of Bibles, and I just found them online again yesterday. And that's what I would read. I would read these little stories. And that was comfort. And somewhere along, I don't know, I gotta calm down. I really like those Bibles, and I just remember one with with the lamb. I guess maybe it was the story of David, the sheep around his neck or something. I don't know what happen with those, but in my household, it was not a good household to grow up in or have anybody over, and I don't even want to get into that. I hope I don't. A lot of shame again, fear, judgment, silence, keep secrets. A lot of keep secrets, and so I didn't. I don't know. And then I got excommunicated. They excommunicated me when I was 15 in the Mormon Church, and I hadn't had anything to do with them for a while. So that's kind of the beginning of it. And I raised kids. My husband and I would just go out. We would take them out. We'd go camping, take them in the snow, pull the inner tubes around in the snow. It was always just the four of us. My kids said, why aren't there any pictures of us ever of all the four of us? Well, it's because there was nobody else hardly ever around us, so one had to take the picture. So it was usually a picture of two or three. And so we didn't go to church. And like my husband would say, and I would say, is we're just out in nature. We're just spiritual that way. And that's what we do. And and then I turned away from God somewhere in those Bibles. I know when I get that series again, I just have this very strong feeling that I'm going to know what and when. Why did I turn away from that God I was reading about in those little turquoise and gold Bibles? I just felt like the other day, not too long ago, I was given that. So when my daughter died in 2008, what I said then was, I really know there's not a God. And so I just kept going with kind of like that, missing, kind of lost. And then just recently, in 2015, there were 6 deaths in my family. And I finally told my husband, your brother can come out, I'll accept his dogs. And then he died the next week unexpectedly. And then my mom in May, she died. And then I reconciled with my sister at her funeral right when I found out she died that morning. I was getting on the plane. I just says, it's not about me not talking to my sister for the last 20 years. I'm just gonna drop it. It's not important. And I seen her and we hugged and we started a relationship that morning. It was pretty beautiful. And then it's great how things work, because my doing that, and even though it was my mom's death, her daughter died suddenly a few months later. So I was actually able to help her with that. So, and then Aunt Doris, she died. It was just 6 people. And then my son's mother-in-law, she died after coming to my husband's funeral. They came and visited, and on the way home from that, she died suddenly in the motel, and she went to sleep, and her husband went to kiss her and good night, and she was gone. So it was just so much then. And with my husband too, that year, that was my person, and I just felt lost. I don't want to keep talking about death, but then 2018, my sister Kathy died, that I was close to. She died suddenly, and it was right after I had talked to her about something that she finally agreed, okay, something we all knew she was stuck on, something we knew she couldn't get past. And she just says, okay, I'm just going to drop it. I'm just going to let it go. And I was so glad to have this conversation with her on July 2nd, because it was really deep, got into a lot of things, and she just says, okay. And I just, oh man, good. She's accepting that she's going on. And then I says, we have to talk on July 4th, because you and I will sit home alone on a holiday. We won't go anywhere, and we'll just kind of isolate. And so we talked, and then she died that night suddenly. And then going to the funeral, that's when I I got to know my niece, her daughter, and her son. So I don't know, that relationship started, it seems like, from her death, that started them and her getting to know God. And then my other sister was having, her son was having a wedding, and I thought, oh man, I need something nice, I need something fun to go to. I went to a wedding, and after that, my nephew Chris, he says, come to church with me, Foursquare Church. And I went, and I could not believe that that's what church was. And I'd been wanting to go to that for a little while, and I was just thinking I needed to go to a church. Didn't find it, and what happened is I was moving when my sister died, and so that got put on hold. I moved in with this man that I thought was a friend of mine, and he turned on me. And then the third thing he did, I just says, that's it. I have no idea where I'm going, but I have to get all my stuff back out of here. So my friend texts me, and she says, Amy, can you sell my house? And I just told her, yeah. Even though my license is on hold, I knew my son could. And we got to talking, and she says, well, for the last 6 weeks, my house has been vacant. And I says, wow. And I started doing the math after that. Well, it was 6 weeks I'd lived in that guy's house, and he started all that crap that he did. And so I just landed here around the corner from Encounter. I was just had been lonely. All I wanted to do was just die. That was my goal since my husband died. Pretty much I wanted to die. I didn't want to live. I didn't see anything for that. And then when I got there and I just moved in there, it was just meant to be. I kept driving past the church here thinking, oh, I wonder what it's like in there. I wonder if it's going to be like the Foursquare, or you just never know. It's kind of scary to walk into a church and you don't know who's on the other side. So what they were doing is their community Christmas. So from my sister's funeral and death, I brought clothes back from her, and I knew they were going to go somewhere. I didn't know where, but they were having community Christmas here, and I just knew that that's how I can meet them, and it's not that scary. And if I don't like them or they scare me, the people at this church, then I can just leave the clothes and go. But that's not what happened. I just walked in, and I just felt at home. I felt kind of a peace when I walked in, and I just felt at home and just started working on it all. And that was December 21st. December 22nd was Community Christmas, and gave out all the clothes, gave out the food and all that. And then I went to church, and I made chicken noodle soup so that after church we were having that. And I didn't know they were already having food going out. And that was really good. I had a reason to cook because I really like to cook. And I felt that connection too. So so that was December 30th. Well, no, that was December 22nd. December 30th, Pastor Brown was given the sermon and says, well, who wants to come up and, give their life to God? And I just went right up and did it. And then I go, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. But, Wendy stayed with me all day because she knew I might change my mind, or the devil might change my mind. And I did, and it felt so great to be baptized, and because I wanted to and understood why. Not like when I was 8, because I don't remember it. And those people excommunicated me anyway, so that didn't mean anything to me, really. And then it's not easy. It has been a struggle on and off, but, as long as there's people to connect with and to talk to, that's what keeps it going. And all the groups that we have. And I finally declared it. I think it was 6 weeks ago again that I said, you know what, I am a part of this. I am a part of this church. You are my family. Because the devil's wanting to tell me, no, those people don't really want to see you. They don't want you there. It goes back and forth that way with me, and probably with everybody, where it just, you think, wow, this is great, and then wham. But as long as you know what to do, I'm learning now what to do in those whams, is talk to people, just talk, and then what happened, I know this is getting kind of long, but then what happened after that, being baptized? Oh, when I asked my family to come that day, well, they didn't see I was asking and my son didn't get it. And he's like, what are you doing, Mom? Who are these people? Are they wanting your money or, something like that? He didn't know. And I was just like, no, come on. And so I went really overboard. I just went really, oh, this is great. Come join me. The church is always open. And then so my family kind of backed away from me, and I went, oh, so I'm going to choose this or I'm going to choose them. It works out the way it needs to. But then I came over here on December 30th. Like I said, I got baptized. And after the community group, I had dropped the hangers off, and I met this guy over there, and he gave me money. He works there to buy something that they had sitting outside. And so on the 31st, I asked him, do you want to go to church with me? And I was really excited about it. And he's like, sure. So we go to dinner, and then we get done, and he's like, no, I don't want to go to church. You don't need to go to church. And this is just the day after I'm baptized. And I go, you said you would go with me. We went out to dinner. He's like, no, I just want to cuddle with you. I just want to hug you and all that. And I'm thinking, oh man, that sounds so good. And I'm sitting out in the parking lot of my house, right in front. Do I go in my house and we just cuddle and watch TV and that's all it's going to be? Or do I take him home and I'm done? And I felt like that was just the very next night after being baptized, like this test, and I think that's what it means. I'm realizing that right now as I'm saying that test, when our teaching is we get tempted, but then God gives us a way out of that. And it was just that split moment. I guess that's what it is. That split moment of do I? And I just paused, and I just listened, and I just go, hey, I'm taking you home. But then I still went home, and I was so mad at myself I didn't come to the church for New Year's that I just sat in my garage and I just drank, and I just drank the whole night long. And then I was mad, and then it was a few nights later coming in here. I'd already started drinking, and it's like, oh man, I didn't want to do that. So I had a few drinks, and I came into church here, and people were here, and Bobby Dendy was here, and all these people came around to see him when he comes. And it's just, because he is an evangelist, he brings the Holy Spirit, he brings all this with him that people just want. And so I was like, oh, okay, you guys, I already drank. I'm probably kind of drunk. And I just don't want to be at home alone. And that was my whole thing. I just didn't want to be alone anymore and just drinking, having no life. Because this is not a fun place to be. And then people prayed for me. And I could feel it. And I just felt this peace. And again, feeling at home. And then nobody put any shame on me. All the shame I'd felt all my life and different things, it wasn't here. They told me to come back. Pastor Brent actually texted me the day or two after that or something and said, hey, are you okay? Man, I came back with all these sentences of, oh, thank you so much for, thinking about me. And so I was a smoker for 42 years. And when I had came in, I don't know if it was that night or another night, because like I said, I was drunk. So I just said, I drank and smoked my whole life, and I feel shame from that. And I'd never said those words any time ever about that. And I woke up the next day, and I had no desire to smoke. And I'm going, what happened? I'm going to have to test this, because here it is now. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I have no desire. And actually, I never did want to be without a cigarette at all. Every hour or something, it was always had a cigarette in my hand, always craving it. So I had to test it. So finally, then I got the craving about 24 hours later. And then I go, no, I just had to test what was going on. I had no idea. So I took Chantix. So then I did quarters of Chantix for just a few days to go. I don't know what they did or how that happened at all, but I don't want to be a smoker. And so that was such a gift to get that. And I wasn't asking to quit smoking. I was saying I felt the shame. It was the shame that was lifted. That's what I believe. So then so I didn't want to drink because I didn't want to start smoking again. So then I did start again in April, some here and there, and have been. And I'm fasting that right now. I'm just fasting alcohol for this fast, and ice cream. So we'll see what happens after this 3-week fast. But I just wanted to say another thing I wrote down was I used to have these dates in my mind, these dates of the dates that were bad, the bad things that happened. And I just wanted to say replacing these dates was really important. So instead of February 2nd when my daughter died and have the sadness come around me and all that, and when my sister died, that date of July 4th, and all the other people, I just wrote these dates down of December 21st, December 22nd, December 30th, baptized, that split decision the 31st, and when I came in here that day, I don't remember that date, but that's okay, that's in between the 31st and the 19th, and then being smoke-free January 19th, and then baptized July 11th with Keisha and Joey. That was quite an experience. And that was really quite an experience. And then Bobby said to me, "You need to get back in." I'm like, why? So that messed with me. It's still messing with me. So I got back in the next day and got baptized again with Jess and Casey.
And Todd Smith was here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Todd and Karen Smith were here, and I went in and got baptized. And that baptism, I was in the water with Keisha. Joey was there, and the woman says, "No, you don't. You get in here with her. It's her and Keisha," and she just held on to me, and I felt like I was being held, like an eagle would fly, but I felt like God was around me, flying, kind of just hovering over, and he was just like this, and I'm going through mountains, and there's water. And I just felt that kind of love of protection. And I was just in the baptism that whole time. And then the next night had the baptism again, and with Jess and Casey. And then August 14th is when I started having community group at my home, so that's a new date. I don't know when I got free of avocado, being not allergic to avocado anymore, but that's another thing Bobby told me to do. "Well, have you asked for healing?" And I went, "Healing of avocado?" And he says, "Yeah," and I tested it, and I am now. So it's little things like that. I think that's called signs and wonders or something, maybe. And then there was another date when Amy and I were going up to the well with Rhonda Holland and Abigail Hughes. They were all up there. And I know for a fact, this is my first experience with this ever in my life, but Amy was driving from South Chandler and I was driving from North Mesa. So we decided to start driving and meet up there at the same time, and we're talking the whole time. She's ahead of me somewhere. We're just talking, and we get there, and I says, "Wait, I have to do this post to say where I'm at." So I did this post. It's like, why? I just was trying to learn it, and I don't know, it was so important, but it was. But I knew later. So we go in here, and afterwards I'm saying, "Okay, well, I got to finish this post now to say now we're done." And as soon as I got to the stop sign, she's waiting for me. I go, "I know you're waiting. Sorry, give me another minute." So I do this post, and I get behind her in her car, and we're both on our Bluetooth and talking, and I said, "I had to finish that in case I never make it home." And I says, "I don't know where that came from, but I'm not thinking of death." So we get driving, we get going down the road on the 17, and then I see these cars are all piled up, and then people are out, and there's 5 or 10 or however many of our cars, and I go, oh gosh, that was in a terrible accident. Good thing we were at where we were. Then the next pile up, not a half mile down the road from that, another one. All these cars just smashed up, and people are out standing there. And right then, I got this feeling from my toes all the way through my body, all the way up through my head. That was just this release of this feeling, like the Holy Ghost was right there saying, "You were saved from that because you made that post." And I just knew there was no shadow, any kind of doubt of that. And I just wanted to share that because it was important. So
Awesome.
I don't know. I talked too much.
No, you did great. Want to say bye?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening.